Hey guys, what's up? This is Georgie from the Big Monster Gaming Channel, and today I'm actually gonna bring you a review of the movie Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Alright guys, welcome back. So overall, before I get into the review, I want to tell you that the first part of it is not gonna have any spoilers whatsoever. And once I actually start getting into spoilers, before I do, I'm gonna give you a warning because I would never ruin a movie for anybody. Alright, so let's get it going. So quality of the movie, overall I think is great. There's no other way for me to put it. It was great quality. The overall looks of it was amazing. It seemed a lot more colorful than the first one, a lot more glittery, but I think it was pretty cool. It was different than the first one, so that's awesome. Number two, I'm gonna talk about character development without speaking on any specific one character yet. I just want to say that I think it was a great continuation from part one, as far as how all the characters kind of continued in their search for meaning as to who they are. So I just have to say that I think all of that was great. 3, soundtrack. It's obviously going to be an excellent soundtrack. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I will have to say that when it comes down to it, I'm going to have to give part 1 a higher rating overall on the soundtrack than part 2. Now, I'm a musician. I'm in a rock band. Obviously, I know I mention it a lot because I can't help it. But it was an excellent soundtrack, great music. Go look up the songs. Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you which songs I thought were better than part 1 because that's up to you to decide. In my overall opinion, it was a great soundtrack. Just it felt short of the soundtrack for part 1, but still great songs from the 80s and late 70s. Very memorable, very nostalgic. So I thought that was awesome. Now, before I go on, I'm gonna start getting into a little bit of spoilers, and as it keeps going, there may be a few big ones. There's not gonna be a huge spoiler anywhere, but there's gonna be a few sort of spoilers. So warning, spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. First, I want to get a little bit into the Marvel Universe. When it comes down to it, this movie actually separated itself as far as the rest of the Marvel Universe, where it didn't really talk about Infinity Stones or Xanos that much. It was like it's almost its own standalone thing, which I thought was pretty awesome, because getting into part 3, once you watch the end of part 2, setting you up perfectly for it. So I thought it was pretty cool how it kind of stepped away a little bit from the whole Marvel Universe. Now into plot or character development. I know I talked about it a little bit just a little while ago, but now I'm gonna get a little bit deeper. I love how Peter Quill and Gamora's relationship actually really blossomed into something very beautiful, especially towards the end of the movie. I thought it was very well done. It was very almost realistic. I've been in relationships with girls like that. As time goes on, the unspoken kind of is what's developing, so I thought that was great. Baby Groot was awesome. He had kind of like it was very much a baby Groot, because I was under the impression that Baby Groot was really just gonna be a small Groot, but still the same Groot as part 1, just small. But it's not the case. This is literally a baby Groot, which I thought was awesome, like a little 6-7-year-old, maybe even younger, like a 4-year-old, 3-year-old running around being adorable. It was just awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Let me know what you think about Groot in the comments below. Drax, he actually kind of finds his little girlfriend, sort of, kind of, which, what was her name? I forgot her name. Anyway, the girl with the antennas. I forgot her name right now. But Rocky, same old Rocky as before, but with a little bit more development. He actually starts getting in touch with his inner self. Just like Zandu, he starts getting in touch with his inner self. Very sad what happens to Zandu. That's probably not something I'm gonna go straight out and say, because that's pretty bad unless you've already seen it. But I'm not gonna straight up say it, but it was pretty sad what happens to Zandu at the end. I forget Gamora's sister's name right now for some reason, but her development was pretty awesome too. The way you can see like the competition between two sisters and how sad it was, why she ended up the way she ended up, being such an evil bitch in part 1. So the way it gets up into in part 2 is pretty cool. I like how they developed her. Now, do I think Volume 2 overall is as good as Volume 1? The answer is a definitive yes. 100%. I was actually hoping they weren't gonna make a part 2 that's basically repetition of part 1. Alright? This movie goes into its own thing, which is something that I was really appreciative of, because it was basically the same characters but in a whole different situation from part 1. Discovering themselves, discovering things about themselves, their inner struggles. It really gets into it. So it's something that they didn't really do too much in part 1, because obviously they didn't have the time. They were trying to save the galaxy, but this time, even though they saved the galaxy again, it was only gonna be able to happen through self-discovery from the whole cast. So yes, I think part 2 is definitely as good as part 1. And finally, would I recommend it? Yes! Go watch it right now. First, you're gonna like this video, subscribe to my channel, and then you're gonna get off your butt if you haven't seen it yet and go catch it right now before it is not in theaters anymore, because it is definitely worth seeing in theaters. So with all that being said, rock on, baby! Yeah!